The praise for Harry Kane better be as loud as the disrespect was. I never thought that a player who scored 20 plus goals a season for 10 seasons in a row would be overlooked as one of the best number 9s of our generation. Especially since he was doing it in the Premier League, which people continue to praise as the best and most competitive league in the world.
Even Tottenham in this moment, all the 5, 6, can you tell me now who is going to win the Premier League? You can't tell me.
Not only was he doing it in the hardest league, he was doing it on Tottenham of all teams. Not Liverpool, not Manchester City, Tottenham Hotspurs, a team universally known as bottlers, having not won a single major trophy in decades.
It's the history of the Tottenham.
So why has Harry Kane suddenly gone from a player that was mocked for being trophyless to being considered as the next Ballon d'Or winner? Before I dive into why Harry Kane is finally being seen as the world-class player he is, and why he's actually better than Robert Lewandowski and Erling Haaland, I want to look at Harry Kane's journey to get here because his path was very different from traditional strikers that we've seen dominate the sport. When you look at guys like Benzema and Suarez, they were considered top talents at a young age. I mean, Benzema was seen as the next big thing already at Lyon before his move to Real Madrid, and Luis Suarez was captaining Ajax. Kane, however, was a late bloomer. Although he signed a professional contract with Tottenham in July of 2010, he spent the majority of the years bouncing loan to loan from different clubs in England. On the 7th of January 2011, Kane moved to Leyton Orient on loan until the end of the season. He ended the season scoring just 5 goals in 18 matches. Kane wouldn't make his first appearance for Tottenham until the 25th of August 2011, starting in the second leg of their UEFA Europa League qualification round against Hearts. His debut was a goalless match, although he won a penalty after being fouled by goalkeeper Jamie McDonald, who then saved the penalty which Kane took himself. He went on to make 6 appearances in the Europa League that season, scoring his first Tottenham goal in a 4-0 win away against Shamrock Rovers. However, he still didn't end up becoming a Tottenham starter, as he agreed to join Championship club Millwall on loan for the remainder of the 2011-2012 season. Kane then spent the 2012-2013 preseason with Tottenham, even scoring a hat-trick in a 6-0 win against Southend United. He even made his Premier League debut that season against Newcastle. But again, he was sent out on loan, this time to Norwich City. At this time, barely anybody knew Kane, let alone hyping him up to be some sort of unbelievable striker. Kane wouldn't make his first Premier League start for Tottenham until April 7th of 2014. He ended up scoring his first Premier League goal in that same game in the 59th minute, helping Tottenham beat Sunderland 5-1. He also scored in the following match, helping Tottenham recover from a 3-0 deficit against West Bromwich Albion before eventually drawing 3-3. Continuing his good form, he scored for the 3rd match in a row on the 19th of April, this time helping Tottenham to a 3-1 London derby win at home over Fulham. He was beginning to show glimpses of greatness. Kane hit the ground running in the 2014-2015 season, coming on as a substitute against West Ham on opening day and providing an assist to Eric Dyer, who ended up scoring the match-winning goal. He then went on to score in both matches against AEL Limassol in Tottenham's Europa League playoffs, one of the goals being an 80th minute winner in the first leg. Kane was beginning to find his form now, becoming comfortable with his teammates and adjusting to Mauricio Pochettino's system. On the 23rd of October 2014, Kane scored his first professional hat-trick for Tottenham in a 5-1 win in the group stages of the Europa League. But this was not your usual hat-trick performance. Kane ended up having to play in goal for the final 3 minutes because Hugo Lloris was sent off and Tottenham didn't have any substitutes left. Let's just say his performance in goal went exactly how you would imagine. He conceded a goal when he dropped a free kick from Barales. On the 2nd of February 2015, Kane signed a new 5.5-year contract with Tottenham. At this point, he was fully in form and beginning to be known, having just won Premier League Player of the Month for January. 5 days later, he scored both of Tottenham's goals as they came from behind to defeat Arsenal in the North London derby, his 21st and 22nd goals of the season across all competitions. After scoring against Arsenal, Liverpool, and West Ham, Kane was named again as the Premier League Player of the Month, but this time for February, becoming only the 4th player to win the award in consecutive months. Kane finished that season with 30 goals, the first Tottenham player to do it since Gary Lineker. He was voted as one of the 2 forwards in the PFA Team of the Year alongside Diego Costa. He was also voted the PFA Young Player of the Year. Despite these achievements, going into the 2015-2016 season, a lot of people felt that Harry Kane was a one-season wonder. I mean, the guy came basically out of nowhere and scored 30 goals. Surely he couldn't do it again, right? Well, Kane ended up elevating his game again this season, winning the Premier League Golden Boot with 25 goals, beating Sergio Aguero and Jamie Vardy. He was named in the PFA Team of the Year for the second consecutive season, as he helped Tottenham to a third place finish and UEFA Champions League qualification. He even broke Sheringham's club record in December of 2015 when he scored twice against his former loan team Norwich, putting him on 27 Premier League goals for the calendar year of 2015. Harry Kane was rising to stardom right before our eyes. Kane continued his success in the 2016-2017 season, scoring 29 Premier League goals, winning the Golden Boot again. He became only the 5th player in the league's history to win back-to-back Golden Boots. Considering how much people praise the Premier League, it's mind-boggling to me the lack of respect Harry Kane has received for this achievement. He also joined an elite company of strikers, Alan Shearer, Thierry Henry, and Ruud van Nistelrooy, as the only 4 players to score 20 goals in 3 consecutive seasons. Kane was doing things like this, but people continued to overlook his individual ability just because his team wasn't good enough to win team accolades. On December 23, 2017, Harry Kane made history. He scored all 3 goals in a 3-0 away win against Burnley, equaling Alan Shearer's record of 36 Premier League goals in a calendar year. He surpassed Shearer's record the following game with yet another hat-trick and a 5-2 home win against Southampton, ending the year with 39 Premier League goals. The hat-trick, which by the way was his 6th hat-trick in the Premier League and 8 in all competitions, also made him the first player in Premier League history to score 6 hat-tricks in a year. With a total of 56 goals scored in all competitions for the year, he became Europe's top goal scorer of 2017, breaking the 7-year dominance of Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo as Europe's top goal scorer in a calendar year. If stats like this don't show you Harry Kane's greatness, then I don't know what to tell you. In January of 2018, he scored twice in a 4-0 win against Everton and became Tottenham's top goal scorer in the Premier League era, breaking Teddy Sheringham's record of 97 Premier League goals for the club. Just a month later, Kane scored an out-of-time penalty to equalize in a 2-2 draw versus Liverpool at Anfield for his 100th Premier League goal. He achieved a century of league goals in just 141 appearances. Only Shearer did better, getting it in 124 matches. He was named in the PFA Team of the Year for the 4th consecutive season, alongside fellow forward Mohamed Salah and Sergio Aguero. Kane's consistency could no longer be ignored now. He was not just a flash in the pan, he was a world-class striker. The 2018-2019 season was bittersweet for Kane. He scored the opening goal against Cardiff City in January, and with that goal, he became the first player to have scored a goal against every Premier League team he has faced, which is honestly a crazy statistic. Sadly though, he spent the majority of the season dealing with an ankle injury. He first injured his ankle ligament in a game against Manchester United, then he suffered the same injury later in the season against Manchester City in the Champions League. Having just injured his ankle in April, it made no sense for him to play in the Champions League final, but those opportunities don't come around a lot. He played, but it was very obvious that he was not at 100%, and it showed as Tottenham lost to Liverpool 2-0. Kane received a lot of criticism at this stage by people who continue to push this agenda that he's not an elite striker because he didn't show up when Tottenham needed him the most. These people were also conveniently ignoring the fact that he was by no means healthy in that final. Nevertheless, this did not stop Kane from getting better and better. On the 23rd of May 2021, he scored a goal in a 4-2 win over Leicester City to reach his 23rd goal of the season and to win the 3rd Golden Boot award in his career. He also won the Premier League Playmaker of the Season award for most assists in a season, becoming the first player to win both the Golden Boot and the Playmaker award in the same season since the introduction of the Playmakers award in 2018. This is what makes Kane better than so many other strikers. It's his ability to score and create for other players on his team. He isn't reliant on others for service. He can create something out of nothing for himself. You can't really say the same thing about strikers like Lewandowski and Erling Haaland. Also, I'm not sure how one poor finals performance can overshadow these incredible individual accolades and records that Harry Kane has set, but again, I digress. Knowing that his goals and performances were being wasted on a Tottenham team that had no future, Kane made it publicly known that he wanted to leave in the 2021-2022 2022 season. Daniel Levy, the chairman of Tottenham, denied his request and rejected Manchester City's bids for Kane. Kane claimed that he had a gentleman's agreement that would allow him to leave in the summer, but Levy rejected these claims. Being the model professional he is, Harry Kane stayed for the next 2 seasons and gave his best effort. In fact, just last season, Kane scored 30 goals in the Premier League for a Tottenham team that finished 8th. That's right, 8th. His performances were mainly overlooked because Haaland had such an electrifying start to his very first season in the Premier League. But think about it, Kane only had 6 less goals than Haaland while being on a far worse team. On top of that, Kane's sole responsibility isn't to score, he also has to create. He often comes deep to collect the ball and utilizes his range of passing to create because outside of Heung-min Son, there's not that many guys that can do that on the Tottenham team. But finally, after years of playing on a mediocre team, Kane joins an elite European side, joining Bayern Munich for 100 million euros. He became the most expensive signing in Bundesliga history. It should be no surprise to people that Harry Kane has hit the ground running. I mean, you just added a complete striker to a team that was missing just one ingredient in their elite side, a proper number 9. Bayern went 1 season without a world-class striker after Robert Lewandowski left. They made sure not to make that mistake again. Kane started playing for Bayern the same day he joined. He came in as a substitute in the 64th minute during a match against Leipzig, which Bayern lost 3-0 in the 2023 DFL Super Cup. At this stage, people were already making jokes and memes that Harry Kane is just simply cursed to never win anything. Kane's first goal for Bayern was in his first game of the Bundesliga season, where Bayern won 4-0 against Werder Bremen. He also ended up assisting Leroy Sané. Again, for me, this is what makes Harry Kane special. He can score and he can assist for others. I mean, what more can you ask for from your striker? Kane then scored 2 goals in a match against Augsburg, helping Bayern win 3-1. Then on September 15th, he scored his 300th career club goal in a 2-2 draw against Bayer Leverkusen. He continued his form into the Champions League, where on September 20th, he scored a penalty in a 4-3 win over Manchester United. Just a few days later, he scored a hat-trick and assisted twice in a 7-0 victory against Bochum, setting a new club record for the most goals scored in the first 5 Bundesliga games. Kane scored yet another hat-trick on October 28th in an 8-0 win over Darmstadt, even scoring a goal from his own half. Kane was finding his form now in Germany, and on November 4th, he scored his 3rd consecutive hat-trick in his first Der Klassik match, helping Bayern beat Borussia Dortmund 4-0. Kane made history with 20 goal involvements and 15 goals in just 10 games, breaking 3 Bundesliga records and matching Gerd Muller's record from the 1968-1969 season. The way he's playing right now, there's a very high likelihood that he breaks Robert Lewandowski's 41 goals in a season record in his very first season at Bayern. He is playing like the best player in the world right now. And if Bayern wins the Champions League or England wins the Euros, there's no doubt in my mind that we're going to be seeing Harry Kane lift the Ballon d'Or. For his sake, I really do hope he wins a title this season, because he is one of the best strikers I've ever seen play the sport of football, and it's a crime that his individual talent is overlooked simply because he hasn't been on a proper team for the majority of his career. If you enjoyed this video on Harry Kane and his transition to Germany and Bundesliga football, you'll love this video on the dark history of the Bundesliga. Give it a watch right here.